Max, every week we invite a guest to come on and do college football picks from across the Lone Star State, and there's few names in the Lone Star State that will resonate with more football fans than the name of our guest today. A Texas high school football Hall of Famer, a Texas Longhorn national champion, and now just a media guy like us. It is Quan Cosby. How are you, Quan?
Pretty good, and I don't know if I would be considered a media guy too much.
Trust me.
I do a little radio and stuff for UT, but that's not my day job. So
You're already more
like
talented than us, I promise.
Not at all.
Yeah. Now, I do want to ask you about that because you went from winning national titles there at Texas, and then you go into the NFL, and you played football your entire life. What is it now like, now being the sideline reporter for the Texas radio network? What's that transition been like from going on the field to being just on the sideline talking to people?
Man, it really wasn't as bad for me because ultimately the way I watched the game, I'm in a way, I'm not necessarily talking to someone. I usually like to watch it with friends when I wasn't doing the sideline thing, and we would kind of commentate, the way we'd see things, the different things we would look at. And when I say friends, some played, some didn't, but we talk about and kind of analyze what we see going from a perspective of how's the game going to go, how the thing's going to change, what's going good and bad, and from our experience of what wins games. So the fact that I did that kind of anyway, I was a technical guy. I wasn't the biggest guy. I wasn't, the fastest guy when I came back to football. So I watch a game like I prepared for it when I played, so it's not as crazy, as the transition. At first, I wasn't very good at it, and I don't know if I'm great at it now, but I'm a lot better than I was because you have to. I tell you what, a lot of people don't understand what you guys do from those perspectives, what the analysts do, and all of that. Craig Way, unfortunately, his wife passed away. And so I did a couple of his shows here in Austin, and I was like, oh, my goodness.
Right?
Dude, I was like, man, this stuff, when you're talking about bumps and you're talking about all this other stuff, I was like, people really, really don't understand. It's so much more than just sitting there talking football. So it's been quite an adjustment from getting off the field to doing it, but I wouldn't change it. And honestly, I wouldn't really do it. I'm kind of a little biased with the Longhorns, so if it wasn't for doing it for them, I don't know. I never want a career out of it. I like my day job.
Now, I do want to ask you about something that people may forget about you, is that you played baseball. Is that you were a 6th-round draft pick in the 2001 by the Anaheim Angels. You played 4 years of minor league ball. If you ever got the opportunity to go talk about baseball, would that be something that would be of interest to you?
Oh, for sure, man. I love the game. I still watch a lot of it. I went to, especially my first couple of years of being out of the NFL, and the Ryans were still involved with the Rangers, man. I went to so many games. And this year, because, my actual, it's funny because I laugh. I do a bunch of marketing things here in Austin, too, and someone referred to me as the cookie guy. And I'm like, dude, I get named for everything other than my real day job. Which I work for Marsh McLennan, which is the largest freaking commercial insurance company and the broker in the world. Yeah. No one knows that I do that. But and then from a baseball perspective, this year I went to about 5 Astros games.
Right.
Reed Ryan's the president over there, so being really good friends with that family, I support what they do. So, man, no, I love some baseball. I mean, how about the playoffs right now? Mm-hmm. They've been every ounce of, living up to the hype. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't know it because of all the other things going on for those who aren't big fans. You got these debates and all this other craziness. Right. It's been really cool. I mean, and then how sad for baseball for a big poppy, walking off. So, dude, I pay attention to baseball every bit as much as I do,
awesome.
Football.
Now, I do want to go. I promise you, we will get your college football picks here in a minute. But I want to ask
no
you,
worries.
When you do get recognized as a football player in this state, do you get recognized as a Texas Longhorn more, or do you get recognized as a Mart Panther more?
Yeah.
Because I think that it's equal parts for me.
Yeah,
dude, it's mind blowing because. And I love my town, and Mart has an unbelievably rich traditional, history in the football, and in this state, And I'll tell you what, even a couple of times when I was in the league in Denver and Cincinnati, like, you're from Mart, Texas. I was like, what? I'm like, that's pretty awesome. So it really is kind of, it depends on where. Of course, in Waco, they don't give a hootenanny about Austin, so it's all Mart. But really, across this state, it is about, because of UT and because of the times we had when I was there, I wouldn't say 50-50, but 60-40. And if you compare, a 57-6 record at UT, I think that's huge. The fact that Mart's still even mentioned in the mix, because UT is, such a global presence, let alone, national and state. So no, Mart, dude, everybody knows some Mart. And honestly, I will admit this. I love being a Longhorn in our years. But when someone know me as Mart, it is 10 times more pride about it than, being a Horn.
Well, and the thing about it is that you are, to me, you are the rare guy who has played in two of the most iconic games I think played in this century. When one of them, you guys come out with the win in the 2005 national title game, Texas and USC. The other one, I hate to bring up the sore subject, but Mart and Salina, the 2000 state championship game. That always stands out to me as an iconic moment. From a big moment in Texas football history, you've been involved in a few of the really biggest ones.
Dude, for sure. And I must say something about that game. I actually, out of respect for G.A. Moore, I went to, and I forgot, it may have been the same year Coach Brown got inducted. But for some reason, I was at the same Hall of Fame induction that he was at. And I was laughing. Well, by the end of it, I was laughing. I was annoyed and I was pretty mad at the beginning. But we had a side conversation. And he said if I ever tell anybody, he'd deny it. But I said, G.A. Moore, dude, because there was about 3 extremely questionable calls that cost us the game in there. I mean, dude, you can watch it right now. You'll be like, oh man, y'all got screwed. And so I asked G.A. Moore, I was like, G.A., dude, it's like, be honest. I was like, we should have beat y'all. And he said, Cosby, first of all, just unreal nice words. It was really humbling. And he said, I hear that from everybody that I've ever played, that we should have beat y'all. He said, but I'll give you this one. Y'all are the only ones that it actually means anything. He said, y'all were a great team. Y'all were a better team. And fortunately, it worked out for us. But anybody else that says that, and I can't say on here what he said, but he said, but you know what, you saying that, it means something. And he even said, I was which is kind of weird to me, but the best player that he's ever coached against. So that was pretty cool.
I think awesome. That there's a lot of coaches who would say that about you. He's Quan Cosby. He's just an insurance guy now, guys.
Yeah.
So
man. Commercial insurance.
Commercial insurance agent Quan Cosby will join us for our college football picks. Max, you look at the leaderboard. Greg Howard from the New York Times still in first, 5-0. Aaron Hardigan at 4-1. Jeff Pearlman, author, 4-1. Basketball superstar Sue Bird went 3-2 last week. Not bad.
Not bad.
Bill Connolly, actual football expert, went 3-2. Eric Adelson from Yahoo Sports went 3-2, and still coming in last, internet sorcerer Lana Berry at 1-4. So you got to beat 1-4 to stay out of the bottom. All right.
Right.
All right. So here we go. We got 5 picks with Quan Cosby. We start. This game is 6:00 on the Hilltop in Dallas. Number 11 Houston visits SMU.
Oh man. I'm definitely going to be 1-4 because I'm going to go with Houston right there.
All right, there's one. There's one. But
you got one.
You never know. Now we'll move down.
Hey, a lot of respect for Chad Morrison. Love the guy and what he's done and been for Texas high school football and now SMU. But he has some work to do.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. We'll go to the South Plains of Lubbock, 7 p.m. It's gonna be a night game in Lubbock. Something I don't know if you ever experienced out there at Texas, but number 16 Oklahoma travels to take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
Well, the fact that the Red Raiders just can't, and Piron's not playing, I believe now.
I believe that's correct.
But Mixon's coming into his groove, man. It was not talked about. It's so funny. OU's only lost to 2 top 10 teams,
right?
And now they're even better. So I'm going to roll with them. I think Tech's going to play better than they did versus West Virginia, or West Virginia gave OU a formula to beat them pretty bad. But I think OU still maybe top 7 team in the country. So I'm gonna roll with OU.
I tend to agree. We will now the game you are probably a little bit biased of. You'll be you'll be up in Manhattan. Is that right?
I will. I'm leaving tomorrow morning at 7:00.
The Texas Longhorns travel to take on the Kansas State Wildcats. It's been a house of horrors for Texas in Manhattan. Can they get past the Wildcats?
Dude, the only team that so 57-6 Texas record. 2 of those losses were K-State, and so I never beat them. So I'm actually going to look forward to this team who has all the drama in the world going up there, and I think they're going to take care of business. I think they're playing pretty hard now for their coaching staff.
I don't think you'd be allowed in the alumni meetings if you picked Kansas State in that one. So that's probably good.
You know what? Believe it or not, I've picked us to lose. So far, I've gotten past. They appreciate my honesty.
All right, I dig it. At 2:30 p.m. in Morgantown, West Virginia, the TCU Horned Frogs travel to take on West by God, Virginia.
I'm going with West Virginia at home, and that place is, they drink beer in that stadium. It gets pretty wild. Yeah. They bring couches. Oh yeah, burn couches.
Yeah,
I know. After they could beat, Kansas, and they're going to burn a couch. Come on now. But yeah, no, I'm going with West Virginia.
And now the big one. It's the biggest game in the nation. 2:30 p.m. in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Texas A&M Aggies. I don't know if you know anything about them. They are number 6 in the nation. They are traveling to take on the number 1 Alabama Crimson Tide. Quan Cosby, your pick.
Hey, proud of the way the good old Aggies have figured out to win a little bit, but they don't stand a chance in Tuscaloosa. Those guys, I saw both of those teams play this year. A&M play UCLA, where they double overtime game, and then Alabama absolutely demolished USC in Dallas. And they're better now than they were that night. And so it's going to be really hard until the playoffs for anybody to touch the Alabama Crimson Tide. So I'm rolling with Alabama on that one.
He is
now.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
By the way, I got to say now that's the one. If I picked A&M right there, I would not be able to go to
That is probably true. He is Quan Cosby. He is an insurance agent. He is also he's also played a little bit of football and baseball in his day. Follow him on Twitter at QCosby17. Quan, appreciate your time, my friend, and enjoy Manhattan this weekend.
Hey man, appreciate you guys and what y'all do for all these schools around Mart and all the above. Really, a lot of respect for all y'all have done. Of course, to Dave Campbell, the man,
the legend.
The legend, but for sure for what y'all are doing. So thank y'all for what you do.